Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress, and this is your daily dust for Monday, September 11th if you're watching in real time, but it can also be for whenever you stumble upon it. It's also a timeless reading because if you use the law of attraction, it doesn't matter when you stumble upon this, what day it is or what time it is or any of those things. And I am, for some reason, on a fairy deck kick here, and another one of my beautiful fairy decks is the Oracle of the Fairies. So let's take a look inside and see. Okay, let's see. Beautiful deck with a nice book and a pretty backing. And I colored the edges in this kind of hot pink. Okay, let's see. And take from the middle. Oh, nice. You have Shine from Within and Moderation and Protection. This is one of my favorites, that rainbow energy. And this is such a pretty dress, isn't it? All right, let me zoom on in. Shine from Within says, looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it's time for you to shine. And this time is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. My cats keep opening the door. And so Shine from Within's extended message is talking about fairy glamour, and it's a form of magic, and it's used to make something appear different from what it really is. It's seen in many fairy tales such as Cinderella and Snow White, where fairy glamour is used by the queen to disguise herself as an old crone. And it's in the simplest form. The fairy glamour often involves using cosmetics to give the appearance of being more youthful. Or these days it is filters, and I have to admit I use filters sometimes too. Today I decided I'm just going to show my face in a video, in a short, because the feeling that I had felt very beautiful, even if I wasn't all dolled up and my usual fairy glamour. But in spiritual terms, it can mean that you're showing one face to the world while keeping your true face or hidden feelings hidden, which is kind of common for Scorpios anyway, which is what I am. Sometimes it's important to do this, especially if you feel threatened, but usually it's because you fear being seen for who you truly are. This comes down to learning to love yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a self-accepting way. Once you're able to accept yourself, others will accept you too, as they're merely a reflection of what we think and feel about ourselves. So this could be asking you to reflect on when you last wore a glamorous outfit or went to a hair salon. Sometimes you need these kinds of things. If you're neglecting yourself due to a busy job or home, remember that making time for you is essential. And I did this too, just to lift my spirits up. It felt good to color my hair and get my eyelashes twirled. It made me, those are kind of little things that I do for myself that make me feel good. It's not about trying to be somebody different, although I am projecting a fairy energy because of what I do here. There's a bit of mystique, right? There's this fairy mystique that I like to shine to my subscribers, but I'm not afraid to show my real self, and you can see all my real self in all its glory on Instagram if you follow me there. So yeah, I'm a little bit of both because part of what I do has to do with this kind of mystique. So if that's the case, that's a little bit different if that's what you're doing. But I don't feel like there's anything wrong with makeup or filters for that matter. To me, it's playing and having fun. But definitely don't let it hide who you truly are. And don't don't see yourself as you can't show yourself ever if you don't put makeup on or put a filter on. You should be able to be confident enough to just go out there and just be who you are without having to worry about those things, right? Everybody is different from everybody else, and nobody's perfect. And honestly, some of the people that we think of as the most beautiful physically still see themselves as flawed. We all have our little issues, so don't let that bother you. I mean, your soul is beautiful, and it shines brighter than you can even imagine. And one last final thought on this card is just be cautious and aware of other people who may be trying to pull the wool over your eyes, who are pretending to be something that they're actually not. And it's not just about people who are tricking you. It could also be about people who you may assume are okay, but they may be hiding a lot of pain or something's going on in them too. So those are all kinds of things that we sometimes mask, right? We mask these kinds of things just for whatever reason we do. A lot of us do that, okay? So be compassionate to each other for these things. We all have these, self-worth issues, and also the way we deal in life, we have to deal in a certain way. And some people, maybe they do need to find a way to open up or talk about it, and maybe you could be the loving friend right there. But if they're closed off, it's not something that you should necessarily force unless they're ready to talk to you. So, oh my gosh, all right, so the kitties have been opening up and closing the doors, and anyway, so if you're hearing a bunch of noises, it's my kitties being playful. So my kitty, Pumpkin, my familiar, likes to play with Sammy's kitty, Gizmo, and they're both kind of sprightly, close to similar in age, maybe a year apart, and they have a good time together. So moderation is saying, is there something you shouldn't be eating? Try to eat mindfully and healthily, although the fairies say that a little bit of what you fancy is fine. And these could be very related. You could be really worried about your appearance, and you could be thinking, oh, I just need to lose a bunch of weight and diet. Maybe you want to go to extremes and starve yourself or whatever. I don't think that's too healthy. I had sort of an epiphany about food. Well, it wasn't really epiphany, but it's sort of a thought that came into my head. The next time I see a card about diets or food, this is what I'm going to talk about, because it's not always just about losing weight and eating right and calories to exercise proportions and all of that. Those are important and good and everything, but I feel like it's important to kind of dive a little bit deeper into how different foods affect you. Some of you may be able to eat whatever you want, and your body's fine. Your body processes it and everything. But sometimes certain foods, and a lot of you could have allergies, and allergies show up in certain ways. A lot of you can have sort of pains and things that you wonder, why is this pain? I have this pain, and some of it has to do with the types of foods. So if you may have to cut back on certain kinds of foods if you have, it's not like you have to, but if you want to, like if you want to try to help yourself physically, then there could be some food items that you can change to help your physical needs. So sometimes like things that cause inflammation. If you have arthritis, for instance, you might want to not eat foods that cause inflammation. So those two kind of things go hand in hand, and it's really not about diet per se. It's about feeling good. I know my niece, ever since she was a little girl, she's high functioning autistic. When she was since she was a little girl, her mom put her on gluten-free and casein-free, which really, really helped her be able to be a high-functioning autistic child. So it's really interesting how food can relate to our bodies and our brains, you know, and all of our functions and our ability to be happy and to be mobile and to do the things that we want to do. So that could be something that you may be considering in your lifestyle. Instead of worrying so much about your appearance, maybe just worry about, or don't worry, but you know, like be overly concerned about your appearance. Focus more on what can I do, eat, or do physically to improve my well-being, you know, improve my mobility, things like that. Like those kind of issues come up when you're a little bit older, but sometimes young people have this too. So just be aware. I know a young person. She's just 13, and she has so many physical issues, and a lot depends on, for her, what she eats can make a difference, you know. Definitely, you know, diabetics shouldn't be eating sugar and things like that. So just pay, I just feel like pay a little bit more mind to that if you need to, if you want to. It could be something that makes you feel better, makes you feel like you have a better quality of life when you're feeling better about your body. And yeah, and maybe it's just tapping into your relationship with food too a little bit could be helpful here. So you also have protection, and protection is the fairies of protection are shielding you with a magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking on any spiritual work. So the psychic protection is real important. I mean, I think even if you're not doing spiritual work, but you know, start your day off with some kind of thought, image, visualization of having this kind of protection, you know, for the day. Sometimes you can do, you know, you could do little symbolic things like, you know, buy beads with a seeing eye. Even just those kinds of visual aids and reminders that you're protected can help you mentally feel protected, and therefore your body. So it's like mind over matter. Your mind is the key here to solving all these issues that have to do with your body and your surroundings and things like that. If you see yourself, if you visualize yourself as protected, then you are protected. So so be extra careful too about where you go. Like you could be, you know, if you may be moving into a phase in your life where suddenly everything affects you so much more. And that could be that you are becoming an empath if you weren't already an empath, or that your empathetic energy is really being super highly absorbing. And so you have to take more time for yourself now instead of being around crowds as much. You know, it's fine if you like to be with people and see people, but definitely balance that with enough alone time, solitary time, so that you can feel peaceful and at balanced and at ease. This reading just makes me feel like there's a lot of different work to do within yourself to help your daily, you know, this is the daily dust, right? This is your daily grind, day to day. So some little things, like, you know better than me, but these are just like reminders, you know. Remember to, like, I am affirmations, like really see yourself as good and wonderful and beautiful, and you know, take care of yourself, but be in tune with what things make you feel good and what don't. And then protection is see yourself as loved and protected, so that other people can't hurt you or affect you as strongly as maybe they do on a daily basis. But if that starts to happen too much, then maybe you just need a little more alone time or you time. We have you time here with the Shine From Within as well, about going and getting yourself pampered and things like that. and maybe just, you know, going shopping or getting something that's just for you. You could also be guided to protect others spiritually as well. The fairies might be suggesting that they need you to assist someone, but before you assist anyone, you have to ask permission first. So if you're a Reiki healer, you should know if you're a Reiki healer, but if you're thinking to become a Reiki healer, you first have to ask permission. Can I, you know, do you claim this? Because I would like to help you here. And then ultimately, you might like to go get a massage or something like that to help your physical energies as well. But your spiritual energies just, I feel like, need a little bit of meditation, a visualization, seeing protective energy around you, like this kind of, and maybe like a bubble, some kind of, imagine some kind of force field, something like that. It's impenetrable, something that's always around you. These are your angels or your fairy guides, creating like a rainbow bubble, like a orb or something that protects you from negative energy or jealousy or trolls or you know, people who want to take advantage of you. And it seems like maybe it's just me, but it seems like there's a little bit more of that happening out there, that kind of trickster, troll, deceiving kind of energy from, you know, all kinds of areas, from social media, ads, especially. Be real careful what kind of ads you hit, and you try the things that you buy. Be real, even Amazon's not even pure anymore, where you can be 100% sure what you're getting. You have to be, you know, sometimes they'll sell products that don't even belong to the person who's selling them. In Temu, same way. But then just ads in general, like, you know, get this money because the government's doing this, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I know the majority of you know that innately, and it's sad that we have to just already be aware of these things, aware of that, you know, the deceptive energy in social media and advertising and all of that. But this is just another reminder of that. You know, do use the things you feel are good for you. Try and test things out if you need to. If you want to, that's fine, especially if they have like money back guarantee type things. You know, buy things from credible sources. And if you don't, I mean, sometimes it's just better to go out physically and look at things before you buy something. And also see how your friends, whenever they use something or buy something or have something, you know, see how it works for them first before you try it for yourself. Things like that. So, yeah, that's just kind of like, it does feel sort of like mundane, daily things that you can be a little bit more aware of, but I know most of you are probably pretty much on your game all the time, and Spirit could also be just saying, good job. You know, a lot of times these cards come out to say, hey, you're doing right, you're on the right track, just keep it up. You know, consistency is the important part here. That's the other message I got recently. It's like, well, you're doing a great job, you just have to be consistent, that's all. Like, oh, okay. You know, don't give up if you don't see any results right away. Just stay on it and stay consistent. Okay? And I hope you like that. Faith, trust, and pixie dust.